The Flash movie has only been out for a couple of weeks in cinemas, and in a couple more weeks' time, it's going to hit the digital platforms because Warner Brothers have completely and utterly given up on this film. And rightfully so. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. In less than a couple of hours' time, I'll be heading to the cinemas to see Indiana Jones and the Intersectional Feminist of Doom. And by Doom, I mean Doom for Lucasfilm. But before then, let's talk about another film that, well, let's just say ain't doing too well at the cinema. It's been out for 2 weeks now, and The Flash has only managed to muster up $93 million at the domestic box office. Not something that it wanted to do by any stretch of the imagination. This film is set to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially up to around 400, maybe somewhere in the region of around 250 million. Regardless, it's set to lose a colossal amount. But not only that, things are going to get even worse because in 2 weeks' time, it's going to be put onto digital platforms. And when it goes onto digital platforms, that is pretty much going to kill anything that it will do at the cinemas. But will it be at any cinemas by then? Let's just have a look at this tweet by Luis Fernando, who seems to keep an eye on the box office comings and goings. And they tweet out, exhibitors seem to have lost patience and want the Flash gone in a flash. It's a pun! As 1,538 movie theaters domestically will stop playing the film on Friday to accommodate the new debut, which I imagine is going to be the Indiana Jones movie, and holdovers with much better legs. So we might actually see films like Miles Morales getting more theater representation. How about that for D&I? If this proves to be true, and we'll soon find out, because sites like The Numbers here do, as you can see, register how many theaters this movie is going to be at, then this movie, which is already underperforming, is just going to be lynched. Never mind before it gets onto the digital platforms in 2 weeks' time. I can't see this movie doing too much more. And with the international box office still to be added to this week, it's only currently sitting at 216 million. However, I think this movie is really and legitimately going to be hard pressed to hit 300 million in its box office run. And that is staggering, to say the least. As we look here, Black Adam lost, and this, by the way, this website has been exceedingly generous with the profit goals on some of these movies because the budget of Black Adam was allegedly 260 million. Then you've got to have the marketing. Then you've got to have how much money the studios actually take from the theaters themselves. Critical Drinker did a great video on that just a couple of days ago. Go check that out. So the profit goal of 520, that is, it has to hit 520 million to break even, is probably generous to say the least. But let's just play its game. Even with that generosity provided, it's lost $126 million. GG Black Adam. Shazam! Fury of the Gods had a budget of around about, I think it was around 90 to 125 million. But let's just play its game. With a profit goal of around 250 million, okay, still loses $116 million based off that. And they're setting the sights of The Flash hitting 440 million as the profit goal, which is not true. The profit goal of this movie, the break-even point of this movie, has got to be somewhere in the realm of 650, 700 million minimum. But they do have that it's set to lose somewhere in the region of $400 million, which seems way more feasible. Ay, chihuahua. Now, let's go into this article from Screen Rant. Az, why have you gone to Screen Rant? I've gone to Screen Rant because it's always fun to read articles that have been provided by, let's just say, people who hate you, and seeing their spin and their verbiage on how things are going, because even they can't really defend the movie here. They try at some aspects, but we'll go into that. DC just gave The Flash the ultimate shade. The Flash's most recent digital release update following Superman Legacy's casting news seems to show that DC wants to quickly move on. No shit, Sherlock, a movie which should have been a summer blockbuster, make no bones about it, is getting put onto digital platforms 30 days after release? That's insanity! Absolute insanity! And just proves how poorly this movie has actually performed and projected to perform within the next couple of weeks, that Warner have rushed to say, fuck this, we need to get onto digital platforms. At least getting onto digital platforms, there's a chance we might make a little bit more money than we would if we just left it to rot in the cinemas. The plans to release The Flash digitally so soon after its theatrical premiere, combined with the reveal of exciting news about the upcoming DC studio projects, shows that Warner Brothers are obviously desperate to move on from Andy Muschietta's Musketeers' disappointing 2023 film. After a lengthy production period of turmoil and controversy, that controversy being that Ezra Miller is a fucking criminal and psycho, gotcha, and several scheduling delays, The Flash finally hit theaters June 16th, marking Ezra Miller's first solo project in the DCEU. First and last solo project. This film isn't going to get anywhere close to a sequel. Let's not even joke about that. And good news, folks. Andy got promoted and he will be directing Batman Brave and the Bold for James Gunn. Now, as a director, is he a bad director? The Flash movie, I wouldn't say that the movie was mind-blowing in its direction by any stretch, but it wasn't terrible. Yes, folks, this is the low bar of praise that we have. And also bear in mind that one of the writers on The Flash was also a writer on Birds of Prey, another movie which lost a shit ton of money for Warner as well, because in Hollywood, you fail upwards. And guess what? That same terrible writer is now part of James Gunn's writing team for his DC universe. Can you see that we're fucked yet? DC wants to quickly move past The Flash. The Flash was originally expected to be released digitally on September 2023. But Warner Brothers revealed on June 27th, that was a couple of days back, The Flash would have a digital release on July 18th, only a month after its theatrical premiere. The idea has only been exacerbated by the exciting casting news involving new iterations of Superman and Lois. James Gunn's DC Studios' new co-CEO revealed on January 31st, 2023 that Superman Legacy will reboot the Man of Steel for the new DC universe. Yes, he also announced that the second movie is going to be The Authority, something that nobody's ever heard of. But don't worry, folks, that means you're going to get a boys-esque type of show, film. Fucking, it's coming out of the cinema with a gay Superman and a gay Batman. I'm sure it's going to be a winner and $1 billion box office success. This comes only weeks after the news that Henry Cavill wouldn't be reprising the role in DC's live-action future. Weeks. This was announced in December of last year, and we're now on the verge of July. So it was announced 6.5 to 7 months ago. That's not weeks. That's... Who the fuck wrote this article? Kai Young. Oh, fuck me. Man buns. Do you see now, Quarter Black? Do you see now why? Man buns. What did he get paid for this article, huh? Half a cup of cold Starbucks? He should be so fucking lucky. On June 27th, David Corn Sweats and Rachel Bosnahan were confirmed to be portraying Superman and Lois Lane in the 2025 Superman Legacy. And they reckon that it's been announced now because of the writers' strike and the impending Film Actors Guild strike. And if they think this movie is going to come out July 2025, I think they've got another thing coming. I think it's pretty much going to get pushed back from there. But this is where we are. Announcements being made about the upcoming James Gunn DC. Everything that's coming out before that, which is the Aquaman sequel and Blue Beetle. Wow, I mean, here, look at this heading here. Warner Brothers is leaving the DCEU out tonight. But they already did when they announced James Gunn's reboot of the DCU. I can't see Aquaman 2 doing any legs at the cinema. And I think Blue Beetle's going to go the way of Shazam. I think it's going to be an absolute turkey. And if you're talking about wanting to reboot, then why was The Flash shown now? And why wasn't The Flash the last movie that rebooted into the... Because none of it makes sense. Because Warner Brothers have absolutely mismanaged these DC properties from the very first moment that they decided to create the DCEU. They tried to rush everything. They didn't take their time. They were playing catch up to Marvel, at least in their eyes. And it's led to an unmitigated disaster that's led to another reboot that is going to probably lead into another unmitigated disaster when you're seeing the James Gunn slate for what he wants to release. Fucking just give up, folks. Seriously, just give up on all of this. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.